We are here and we are back. And you know what? Baseball moves are back. It is the off season. What is going on, everybody? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. A lot of moves over the past 24 to 48 hours as the winter meetings have heated up. Sox is going to fix his earbuds, but might as well say hello to everybody in the chat. MH, what is going on? There was a guy named Nick in here earlier. He put a comment, but sometimes when I put comments before the stream, like this one, they go away, unfortunately. So that's what happens. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Jacob, MH, the Irrelevant Fan, also known as Tony. Yes, I did see you had us on the big screen earlier today, and hopefully we're on the big screen now. So appreciate you guys. Share this out. Do all the good stuff. Just gonna wait for Sox, obviously, to. Here he is now.
Let's go.
We have you, my man.
You got me?
I got you.
All right, let's go. We're on. Let's go, baby.
Yes, baseball is back in the off-season type of way. Well, now that we do have our names, obviously, under here, but I just wanted to I want to show something to everybody. Sox's username. Wait, this way. Sox's username. And let me guess, Sox, that jersey you're wearing. Is that a Xander Boagerts jersey? Yes, it is. Yep. Sox, with it, not just baseball, but we know baseball has been a main cog the last few days. Go into your first thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed. You know, we all kind of saw this coming. I was in kind of denial, but it's frustrating with the Lester. It feels like John Lester, you know, and just letting a free agent go after not paying him. It kind of happened with Mookie, even though I felt like that trade kind of had to happen in the end. Just disappointing, you know. All I can say is thank you to Xander. I've been thinking about what to say all day, but there's an emotional side of baseball, and you know, it's important to keep a guy like that. And it felt like they just let him go for nothing. You know, it's the same as Lester. It's the same as Mookie. But I wish him the best in San Diego. I feel like I'm close to him now. I'm going to be able to go see Xander whenever I want. I'll still be repping this City Connect jersey. So, you know, it's a lot of emotions, but we'll see where they go from here. Now you got to have a plan B. You got to show us a direction. You know, I'm not so sure they've done that, but let's see where they go, you know.
Shoutouts to Chris the Flash in the chat. He has a channel. Guys, go out and subscribe to Chris the Flash. I think he's got 300 subscribers already. So please, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Chris the Flash. Jacob says, Nimmo and D-Rob to the Mets are insane. Mets payroll at the 333 million mark. Comments, all that sort of stuff is going to keep this show going, guys. So definitely throw us some questions, comments, MLB, NBA, NFL, all those different things. And Sox was telling me that he doesn't know if he has as much of a grasp of the league as, you know, probably NFL, NBA as, you know, with MLB and that stuff. And what happened today? Brandon Nimmo signed back with the Mets. Sox gets another prediction right.
Hey, I don't know how many that is, but you're on a roll. You gotta tell them about your role with free agents that you predicted.
I have been bragging my ass off. So unfortunately, I do get two more wrong because I have to update my count. But as of right now, out of the free agents signed, Waka not yet. I'm just gonna go through the list that we predicted at least. Nimmo's been signed, obviously. Sox got this is the first one that Sox got right that I didn't. I had Brandon Nimmo as an LA Dodger, and they've been pretty quiet this past offseason.
Right.
But let's count in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 guys have been signed thus far. Sox, you are 2 for 18. And let's see what my record is. I want to say I'm 6 for 18. 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 6 for 18, which I want to say is at like 33.3. Let's do the math real quick. Yeah, 33 0.3%. Correct. So
which is not bad with how they throw the money around in the MLB. You never know what the contracts are going to be. We see that with Xander Boagerts. So that's impressive.
yeah, Brad likes to, of course, bust my balls as always, but he says Alex is less than 50%, nothing to get excited about. Hey, listen, there's some folks out there that have been, creating fake sources and stuff. I got more sources and I don't have sources. So
Yeah.
I like to gloat my ego a little bit. But shouts to Jetsmith Mess in the chat. What's going on, my man? 333, great batting average. Yes. When we talk about baseball, 6 for 18 ain't bad. Sox, he's been bragging about it for a week. And you know what?
Deservedly so.
Hopefully we keep that going. Hopefully we keep that going.
Yeah.
But appreciate you all in the chat. Keep throwing your questions and your comments. So I guess we could start off talking about Xander Boagerts and that whole thing. Obviously, you mentioned the emotional side to it. My thoughts are you've been really the one shouting from the rooftops that both are not going to be in Red Sox uniforms. It's one or the other. You've been shouting this from the rooftops for months now. I remember you saying it. The chat probably remembers you saying it. Shouts to Anthony Medina, by the way, my guy. What's going on? But you've been shouting it from the rooftops for a while. I'm like, okay, so we'll see what happens in free agency. And there was a little optimism there. But at the end of the day, they signed Yoshida, and Yoshida is, he's a good outfielder. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you value bat or do you value defense? And there's a reason why I'm asking this when we're talking about Yoshida, because there's some stuff to be picked out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I'm a defensive guy. I was on the side for Jackie Bradley Jr. I from what I've seen from this guy, he's not a great outfielder. He's a good outfielder. What I want to see is a great outfielder because not only that can help so much preventing runs, outfield assists, stuff like that. But you're playing at Fenway Park with, weird dimensions out there, stuff like that. It's going to be tough out there. I value the bat a lot, but we'll see if he can step up into that role. It's a big role. I want to see if his defense is going to hurt us a little bit, because that's not what we need. We need to be better out there right now.
Yeah, and the left field market, obviously, really the outfield market is just shrinking by the minute. Brandon Nimmo signed a big deal with the Mets. Michael Conforto is still a free agent, though. I'm not sure why Yankee fans want him. He has not played baseball in months, which is my worry. Tony says, Sox, when are you going to start up the music?
You might be seeing a video tomorrow, Tony.
So Big Beat Reactions trying to make a comeback here. But if you haven't already, guys, go subscribe in the description. Big Beat Reactions. He does a lot of great work there. I can't wait for him to get to the song that I suggested, because it's going to be a treat.
Yes, sir.
Sox, when is Boston going to do anything?
It's really starting to piss me off, because I've been listening to stuff, all day about this. The ownership group of this team is really starting to piss people off, because you go out and buy the Pittsburgh Penguins, but you're sitting here saying you can't spend enough money on Xander Boagerts. It doesn't make any sense. We've seen guys leave the homegrown talent. I've heard that word so much today from Red Sox content creators. The Sox hate homegrown talent. We just let these guys walk out, and it goes even back before Lester. And now you wonder if it's going to happen to Rafael Devers. And from what I've seen from Rafael Devers, he's pissed about this too. That was his guy. That's his best friend on that side of the infield. And you let him go, and now Rafael Devers doesn't know if the Red Sox actually believe in him. Now it's time to pay Rafael Devers right now. And if they don't do it, we could see him walk next year as well. It's really frustrating.
Tony goes, he ain't worth $100 million, as in Yoshida. Same here, waiting for my songs. I mean, it was going to be a big deal either way. Let's see. I think it was 85 over 5, $17 million. I mean, that's not too bad.
No.
Or maybe it wasn't 85 million, but the chat will correct me, of course. It seems like the Red Sox are starting to lose their identity. Yeah, I mean, I just don't. They have to pick a direction, and they really haven't. And it's been weird, because I told you about the Kenley Jansen signing, which we'll get into. A lot of people are, sitting here saying, okay, it's a good move. I'm like, no, it's not. He is on the backside of his career. He's got the choke factor. I mean, if you've told me more than I already knew about Matt Barnes when the season was going on, about how he was basically a choke artist.
Right.
What's the difference between him and
Exactly.
Kenley Jansen?
Exactly.
Like
That's what I'm
Kenley
saying.
Jansen's been on more winning teams. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see the match.
Kenley Jansen's arguably choked more than Matt Barnes. It's like, and I'm going to take a little step back because, you're building a little bit of, he's going to be
Tell us how
there.
you
He's
really feel.
I was really pissed off about that because even when he was on the Dodgers, me and my buddies watching Dodger games as Diamondback fans, he would choke a lot and in big time spots too. It seems a lot like Matt Barnes, but you bring a veteran guy in there to the bullpen. That's exactly what we wanted, but you got to keep going. That can't be the big splash. And I'm worried that that's the big splash. Like, we got to get a starter in there. We got to do something more. Like, that's the direction we need to go right now. And unfortunately, I think Yoshida in the outfield that's it for the outfield. There's no more big signings by the Red Sox. So pitching has got to be the direction.
Shouts my man, Unpopular Opinion Sports. Guys, go subscribe to his channel. He's growing, doing a lot of good stuff over there. Go subscribe to Unpopular Opinion Sports. Shouts at 12 in the chat, by the way. Like, subscribe, both channels. Also, share us out as well. There's probably some people going live right now. And listen, we're going over everything. I mean, it's not every day you see a Yankee Red Sox podcast. But anyway, you give a Japanese kid $100 million that hasn't played a game, but you can't sign your homegrown shortstop, please. I agree. I mean, before Yoshida was even posted or talked about, they
I don't understand.
Saw this coming.
I don't understand.
And did you see what Chaim Bloom's reaction to it was?
I heard that somebody stopped him in the airport, I believe, and he said that he does expect fans to be upset about it and that he plans on providing winning baseball.
So, I'm just trying to, because someone sent what he was to me. Well, I should say what his reaction was. Someone sent it a couple hours ago in my NYY news chat. No, not Jacob McCarthy. I'm trying to friggin' find it. It's yesterday. Let's see.
I don't know. I think fans are done with him. I really do. They were on the
justifiably
edge, and now they're done.
I mean, justifiably they're done.
Yeah, you gotta go spend some money. And it wasn't that they didn't match the Padres offer, which I don't agree with a 10+ year contract, which for a 30+ year old. I know. I think they're gonna pay for that at the back end of that contract, But it's not that they didn't match it, but they could have matched the year by year at least, like 7-year, whatever it would have been. They didn't even come close. They're like 4th or 5th on the destination for him, apparently.
Now, I'm going to throw you something because I've seen different folks tweet about this. Do you think there was a possibility? And, this, I'm not trying to, I'm seeing it from an outsider standpoint. And I'm really trying to gauge Red Sox fans, whether they're just trying to homer for Chaim Bloom or not, what the case is. I've seen people say, Xander didn't want to stay here. Judge wanted to stay in New York. I don't think Xander's deal touched $200 million. I don't think it touched $200 million for the Red Sox. So, I mean, do you support that statement, or was he just going for the money? And I've said this to multiple different people. There's no Jeter. There's no David Ortiz nowadays. They look at the money aspect. I mean, Aaron Judge actually, in my personal opinion, caved in, because what happened in the scenario, which we'll obviously get into, is the Giants were the first to offer $360 million over 9, which is $40 million a year. And the Yankees were at 340. So he could have said, fuck you, Yankees, I'm going to the Giants. But no, Hal and Boone gave him a talking to, and he said, just raise your offer, and boom. But right. I'm honestly, just from an outsider standpoint, I know the chat's blowing up right now, and I love that, guys.
Keep it up.
Keep it up, yes. But I'm just not seeing this whole, Bogaerts didn't want to be in Boston.
No, he did. He openly said that he did, and I think he did come back and say, "You got to at least give me a more something more valuable in a contract." But they didn't even come close, like I said. And some people are blaming it on Bloom, Chaim Bloom, but who knows if ownership gave him a certain number that he could cap out on when it came to spending money on Bogaerts, and they might have had that conversation. But there were reportedly 2 or 3 teams that were going to spend at least that much money that the Padres were going to spend on Xander Boagerts, which is crazy because people were just talking about how bad he is and how washed he is. He doesn't have any range, and boom, he gets 11-year deal.
Right. Totally agree. Shouts to Jeffrey. What's going on, man? Shouts to Tudo from Italy. What's going on?
Shout out, Tudo.
Jeffrey says, Sox, Arizona, do you think the Red Sox will sign any shortstops?
I mean, at this point, you almost have to. Kike is our center fielder. There's no way he plays short. Big Blue was texting me. He said you think Dansby Swanson might be available for the Red Sox, which I think that would be a good possibility. Who knows what they're going to do? I have no idea the direction because now you got to focus on pitching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see, the Red Sox making too many more splash moves, and it's pick your poison. They obviously didn't have enough money or enough will to sign Xander Boagerts. You got to go either to the bullpen. And now I did see something, maybe this is from a fan page or something like that, or, Red Sox fan page has sources that they want to make a move for Carlos Rodon. I don't like that because that's what the Yankees are supposed to do. I've been a big proponent of Carlos Rodon for the past year, so stay away. But obviously, if you guys get him, it's not going to be your fault. It's going to be the Yankees' fault. But with that being said, I think shortstop is the way to go for you guys because from what you've told me, from what I've seen when the Yankees have played the Red Sox, I mean, Jeter Downs isn't necessarily the shortstop
not MLB
answer.
ready. He's not MLB ready, even if he might not be the shortstop answer. He's not MLB ready. Marcelo Meyer's not MLB ready. So maybe it does have to be a splash move, but now you miss out on pitching. You say you don't have enough money for Xander, but you're going to go get who? I mean, Carlos Correa, it's going to be just as much money. Now you have to spend that much money at that position because now that Dansby Swanson and Correa are benefiting from this contract.
Right. And also with the Trey Turner contract as well.
Trey Turner, yeah.
Boston is acting like the Rays, but the thing is, Bloom doesn't need to act like the Rays because he has the resources the Rays don't have. Yeah, I mean, the Rays and the Red Sox are two different teams built strategically.
Right.
But with that being said, I gotta catch this fucking fly that's in my fucking face.
I've been seeing you trying to get. I wonder, does he have a mosquito or a fly?
I just injured it. I literally just injured it. So it's just whopping around.
I'm drinking a Pepsi, by the way.
Really?
I will say it's
Change of heart.
Look at this Nitro Pepsi, vanilla.
Nitro Pepsi. What the
draft cola?
Are you down bad, Sox?
This is the most delicious thing I've ever had. It's Nitro Pepsi, and it might be my gateway to Pepsi. I'm just saying.
I think it's off of Pepsi. It's like so off of Pepsi.
It's delicious.
I've heard people talk about it. I must say I'm not a fan. But no, I mean, the Rays are more analytically built, and it's just their theme is homegrown analytics, Moneyball theory, Jacob. That's not what the Red Sox have been about. That's not really, yeah.
We're under the illusion. The fan base is under the illusion that it's a homegrown thing because we're all in for Xander. We're all in for Raffy. Now we think Raffy's going to be gone, and multiple names throughout the years. You're right. It's not what they're about, but I feel like fans are under the illusion that it is.
Does Tatis play second base or the outfield? Well, I mean, they signed Sanders, we all know. That's a good question, Tony. People have been talking about him switching to the outfield, and I honestly, he's suspended for the first 20 games of the season.
I thought they came out and said he's going to play outfield.
That's I've heard that one, as I've said. I mean, they only have 3 outfielders right now on their roster. They have Jose Zokar, Trent Grisham, and Juan Soto. So it's going to be a project. I mean, also, he could be a DH option. I don't know what they're doing over there. Jeffrey says, Alex, I hit 205 today. That's what I told you in messages, man. Just got to keep growing your channel. It takes time. Right now, we're 5 away from the number 800 here on Big Blue in the Bronx. And, it takes time, but you got to put time into it. Happy your channel's growing. Saying the Mets might happen per Michael Marino. That's been the talk a while. And if they get Senga, their rotation, I would have to reevaluate what they've done in the rotation. Because if I'm going to be completely transparent, just a little snap for later. I know it's a made-up word. I'm not necessarily a fan of them signing Justin Verlander. I don't think it does anything in terms of what they want to do, and that's just move forward in the playoffs. Rob's Rules, haven't seen you in here, my guy. Definitely like and subscribe. Mets got 3 players: Verlander, Quintana, and Nimmo. They also got Robertson, which is that's an underrated signing right there. If I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, I would be livid. No Judge, no Nimmo, no Yoshida. Is San Francisco what is the hell is San Francisco going to do to make a big splash? So they're still kind of in the market for a shortstop or a big move. A lot of people are talking Carlos Correa there. I know Correa's been talking with the Twins organization too as well. So there's that, even though they kind of came out and said a few months ago that Brandon Crawford would be their starting shortstop in 23. I mean, the guy's in his 30s. He's moving out of his prime. Correa might be a move you make. You might want to. Rodon's also been talking with the Giants, so that's maybe another move you make as well. But I would be pissed. Yanks got Judge. Philly's going for it all. Yeah, I mean, I like the signing of Trey Turner. I don't think it was bad, but at the same time, they signed Taijuan Walker, who's not really good. They went from Syndergaard, who was mix and match for them in his tenure, and then they went Taijuan Walker, which he was not very good for the Mets. I don't think he'll be very good at all for the Phillies. I agree, Jacob. I don't see Correa in Boston. That's what I said. I saw the vision when I did my predictions. I said Dansby Swanson was going to be a Boston Red Sox. The only thing different is I saw Bogarts as a Brave, but obviously that's not the case nor the scenario anymore. I see something that the Red Sox will probably go after Christian Vasquez. See, here's the thing with that, though, and I know Sox is a big fan of Christian Vasquez. Is that really a priority right now with money?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it was at some point, and that's another position that you struggle at a little bit. But looking all over the roster, it's starting to. You're having a few more holes. We're looking to get better at this point. This is what I'm frustrated with. We're looking to get better, and you're clearly not. It doesn't make any sense.
Shouts to Cooper. Like the stream, save the dream. Yes. Quintana has only pitched past the 5th inning 8 times in 3 years. Really? Wow. Thank you, Tony, for that. I had to tell Angry John about that because he is hype about that signing because his homers per 9 innings is like at an all-time low in his career. I mean, it's a general middle of the rotation type of move. But
the complete game has gone away, though. Let's just put that out there. Last 3 years, so that stat isn't as strong as it would be maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, also you have to take a look. I mean, I don't know how the Pirates are philosophically. I mean, he got traded from the Pirates to the Cardinals mid-season. Here we go, MH Red Sox.
Shout out MH.
Yeah, shout out MH. See, your Mets are making moves, and he was calling it a little bit a few months ago. Sox. He goes, they should just strip down and rebuild.
True. I got to give MH the one I said earlier, which was Verlander signed with the Mets just to avoid the stress of October baseball.
Yes, I remember that. That was good. Jansen is not Diaz. He absolutely is not Diaz. Shout out to Evan Spitzberg in the chat. What's going on, man? Maybe the Red Sox will be in rebuilding mode. They lost a lot of offense.
Hey,
I don't think
in last
so.
place too.
Because they've been half pregnant, as Donald likes to say. Because you have Cassis, but also you have Hosmer. So there's that. Right. Then you let go of Bogaerts. You don't know what you're doing at shortstop. Maybe they don't sign anybody at shortstop. Then Kenley Jansen, you sign him to a pretty decent chunk of a deal. Just doesn't make sense. It's ever since the trade deadline, I've been colossally confused by what the Red Sox are doing, and I don't think it's
since
good.
Mookie left, it's been that way.
Will they trade JD Martinez? Is he even re-signed? I forget.
No, I don't believe he's re-signed.
Okay. Thank you for that's a good question, Rob. But I had him going back to the Red Sox, but is that really, once again, like the Christian Vazquez thing? Is that of value? Is that of priority? Do you think, in your opinion, Rodon is close to signing with the Yankees, or is the holdup because of years? Someone put it in chat. Along the lines of 5 years, and that the Yankees, I forget, I got to scroll up for this one when it comes to Carlos Rodon. But someone was talking about how it was like 152. So it could be because of years. I think they also have to reach the $200 million mark at some point, whether it becomes a years thing or not. But good question, Anthony. We can give you Hicks. Jetsmith, I know your favorite player is Hicks, but at the end of the day, I've been discussing this for a while. Maybe not a while, but maybe just like the past 24 hours, just to, joke with Red Sox fans and make fun of them. We could give them IKF. I mean,
oh my God,
deep, disposable shortstop, middle infielder, utility player. He is. I just see it as a fit. I just see it as a fit.
I can't do with, what was it, 13 errors by
13
what point
errors.
in this? Yeah.
No. But who know? I mean, the Yankees and Red Sox have traded before. Steven Drew for Kelly Johnson. Then there was another one, Adam Ottavino. I mean, we have to dump our trash somewhere.
Oh man.
Mets found and signed Nemo. Yes, they did sign Nemo. Red Sox can't be middle, either worst or first. Whack franchise, great fans. I would not, besides our buddy Sox here, I would not say great fans. I would not.
Appreciate that.
The Orioles made an offer to the Brewers. D. Hall, Austin Hayes, and 2 prospects for Corbin Burnes and Christian Yelich. I like if the Brewers were to accept. So in terms of that, Tony, if I'm going to give you my outlook, and he's been texting me about this Corbin Burnes thing for a while. And here's what I say. Yeah, Corbin Burnes is a hell of a pitcher. You put him on your staff, he's obviously going to be a number 1-2 tandem with John Means. But the thing is, though, they need hitting. And Christian Yelich taking on that contract, unless the Brewers end up eating it. But the problem is they're in a rebuild right now. I just don't see it. So maybe you could get someone else to spark up your offense over there. I don't know. I like Austin Hayes for you guys. Orioles sneaky good next season.
Probably.
Well, they'll be better than the Red Sox as of right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sox,
we're coming off last place. We're probably going to be in last place next year.
Let's see. I'm trying. The Rays will find their way to the top 3. The Yankees will definitely be in the top 3. So it's whether the Blue Jays and the Orioles be better. You were saying?
Yeah. That's between them and Toronto. That's what I was going to say.
I think if you add a couple of bats, I change my mind, but I'm sorry. Toronto's ahead of Baltimore. Got to sign some bats. Shouts to Jeffrey. What's going on, Jeffrey? He says, sup, guys. Brandon Nimmo is back in Queens. We got David Robertson, too. Sorry, Andrew, about the Bogaerts move. Yeah, Jeffrey has a channel. Guys, feel free to go and sub up to him. Jeffrey, if you want, you can put your link in the chat. Soto going to get 15 years. I mean, do the Padres have the money for that?
That's crazy. Question.
I just don't think they do. And it's weird as well because you know how many deals they offered where guys took hometown discounts just to stay with another team? Trey Turner, Aaron Judge. Something is off about San Diego. Yeah. Something is weirdly off.
Yeah.
Xander always had the foot out the door, got the chips, and left.
He has the leverage.
That's what some people think.
Yeah, he had leverage for sure. And when he realized that they weren't going to pay him last year before the season, it was in the woodwork. We knew it.
Yeah, it was in the cards. Baltimore is number 1 with the minor league system. The Red Sox are ranked number 11th. You know what is interesting? obviously we all know the name of Tristan Cassis and some of these other folks that have came up through the system, at least for the past year for the Red Sox. At least I've been looking more into it. I'd like to know if they could suit any of their needs just going homegrown. But I mean, all those names as of right now don't seem very
Right.
popular. Boston is going to get the wooden spoon again. I totally agree, and it might be another year of where they're going to get their ass beat by the rest of the division. Red Sox really screwed up not signing Bogarts. Yep, this goes back another offseason. I mean, it's
real pain.
Yeah, it's I would say a lesser situation in terms of tension. If Aaron Judge were, for instance, if he went to the Giants, I think it would be more tension. But obviously, smaller market with Boston, no negotiation crap with like Brian Cashman where he leaked the details and stuff like that. But I think the fan bases would have reacted similar in ways. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, oh, Bogarts didn't want to stay. Then the next minute they're like, Heinblum sucks. I mean, if I was Red Sox ownership and if I was a Red Sox fan, which I'm not, I'd kind of want Heinblum on the hot seat. Just gonna put that right now.
I think it's partially on Heinblum, but it's on ownership, I think, because they're all invested in other, the soccer team and now the Penguins. Like you got to pay your guys. It's like, do they care about the fans or what is it just the money that's the problem here? Because I'm starting to think it's the latter.
Definitely agree. The GM dropped the ball. Soto, Bogarts, Manny, Tatis, whoa. But the problem is, MH, I made that mistake last year of predicting them to go to the World Series. And guess what happened? They built up at the end of the year. They built up some stuff, and I think it was without Tatis. But they fell short. How do you undervalue him like that, though? I need to see what the Red Sox original offer was.
It was 4 years. It was a 4-year deal. I don't remember the numbers, though.
4 years.
They disrespected him.
Oh, my God. 4
years.
They
disrespected him.
Let's see. I got to text my brother. Maybe he'll get some cogs up for me. But 4 years, man. I mean,
they were hoping because he was on a downward trend at that point. Not a lot. I mean, I think he hit 308 last year, but before last year, there was questions about if he was going to progress or not. So they tried to lowball him with 4 years. I forget what the numbers were. And then he's like, no, I'm going to be much better. And now look, 11 years. It's ridiculous.
And you know what? It's a pain in the ass as well. And this is more of a football talk subject. But at the same time, it comes in as a baseball talk subject as well. Wouldn't it have been just better to get the stress out at the deadline by trading him to a contender and getting some prospects back?
That's what I'm thinking about. MH says 6 years. That's what I'm thinking about Rafael Devers now. You might want to just trade him and get him for, get what you can for him if you don't believe in your homegrown players.
Right. Besides Rodon, Yanks looking at any depth pieces. So they need to look in the left field market. I know that's where they are. I don't know what their interest level is in Michael Conforto. I prefer they not go in that area. I don't want to run it back because you added one player at the end of the day, and Tommy Kahnle, which is a very good signing, by the way. I'm not going to fault anyone for that. I mean, he's pitched 13 innings in 3 years, but overall, like the ceiling is high for him in terms of what he was before Tommy John, which was a very good changeup type pitcher in late innings. But with that being said, one of the guys obviously you touched on Rodon, MH. This name escapes me right now. Brian Reynolds. They want to trade for him. They finally want to get that done after the years of just talking about it. So Reynolds in left field would be such a good move for the Yankees. Marcelo Mayer, shortstop in the Red Sox minor league system. Your thoughts, guys? He will be a star. Sox?
Yeah, I mean, he's potentially going to be a star. Not ready at this point now, which is kind of questionable. Another reason why it's questionable to move Xander at this point. I mean, you got to re-sign the guy, and I understand he wanted a long deal. The Red Sox weren't going to pay 11 years because I think that's ridiculous. Again, like I said, I think they're going to pay for it at the end of the contract, just a little bit. The guy's going to be 42 years old at that point, and who knows what's going to happen from here until then? But it made sense a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see about Meyer.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that come off of what you guys were just talking about. A, Marcelo Meyer is not even 20 years old yet, so that's going to be down the line, as you mentioned. And B, I say this to people all the time when it comes to baseball contracts because it's just the world that baseball is in. This isn't like football where, sometimes in football you could compare it. And football, you could also say, well, it's easier to get out of a contract in some ways. Baseball, there's no salary cap. There's none of that. So you honestly, when you're looking at these long-term contracts, ever since they started getting signed, Tatis, Machado, Harper, people say, oh, that's a bad contract. This guy was overpaid. But at the same time, you have to care about their primes. Like Garrett Cole, we're talking about his prime. Giancarlo Stanton, we're talking about how the Yankees currently are wasting his prime. Nobody gives a shit about 5 years down the line when he's 40 years old and can't swing a fucking bat. It's up to the Yankees to put a support system around him and say, listen, we got to go make a run. And obviously, that's what different teams need to do in terms of Trey Turner. That's what the Phillies need to do to try to get back in the World Series again, even though I thought that was a lot of momentum. Same thing goes for San Diego. They finally have to do something other than just this past year. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but that's just my philosophy on that. I'm a Texans fan, but I subscribe to you, Jeff. What do you think about the players you sign, Andrew? So obviously he's asking about Yoshida. Yoshida, Jansen. There's another. I feel like I'm missing one move.
Yeah, I should know who it is too. But I like the outfield. I like the bat in the outfield. But I like a defensive player. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It's going to be nice to see him hit the ball. I was watching highlights of him just smashing the ball out of the park in Japan. But he's going to get pitched different over here, and guys are going to learn how he hits. So we'll see. But I think shortstop is a priority, as Alex said.
Now, how would you position it in the outfield? Because Kike plays
our
center fielder. Okay. Obviously, Verdugo is going to be one position in Yoshida. That's your outfield?
Yeah, that's the outfield. Alex
now,
Verdugo
also,
right.
I just thought of this because I was about to mention Kike at second base, but I totally forgot you guys still have Trevor Story.
Yeah.
So
some people are saying Story at short.
Yeah. That was his original position in Colorado.
Right.
So I'm gonna throw you a bone, and whether you choose to chew on it or not is your choice. But I'm going to prepare you for something because of the way you've been talking down on your team. Potentially.
Yeah, I'm just being
honest. Obviously, he got more reps in right field. But could you possibly be looking at Robert Refsnyder at second and Trevor Story at shortstop?
I guess. It's going to be interesting because once you throw JD in the left field, there's a little bit of shift there. So I think Refsnyder's going to definitely get his reps. It's going to start in the outfield. It's going to be on off days probably, but who knows throughout the season. I think he will get his reps at second base. It's going to be a revolving door, unfortunately. I thought we were getting some solidity. Is that the word I'm looking for in the infield? But now that Xander's gone, everything has changed. We don't even know where we're going to play Trevor Story. So Refsnyder's going to be in the mix for sure.
Let's see. Give Boston IKF Hicks and Donaldson. I don't think they'd be that stupid enough, but they've dumped their garbage on us before, so it's only right that we do it back. Devontae Adams just made another sick one-hand catch tonight. Good. He's on my fantasy team. 1 of 8.
Baker Mayfield stinks.
Baker Mayfield, the first drive looks solid. And then, I don't know what's happened since, but I've never been a fan of Baker Mayfield, I must say.
Yeah.
Padres just need to get their chemistry. Once they gel, they will be tough. Listen, we'll see about that.
I will say I'm excited. The Padres were doing a pre-sale for like a week for next season's tickets. And now that the schedule's rearranged, the Sox are coming here. I already got my tickets, so it's going to be Sox, and Xander's going to be on the Padres. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
Now, do you know? Is it like a voucher for tickets, or you know where you're actually sitting?
I got my tickets. I was trying to get close. They get pricey over here in San Diego with these when you get close to the dugout. So I'm not too close. I might be able to get him to throw me a ball the first day, but the next 2 days I'm back behind home plate in the second deck.
Hell of a seat. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
in a baseball stadium, I've never sat that close because the one by me, it's like $635 fucking dollars just to sit by me.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
we know where, you know what Yankee Stadium brings us. Let me do this math real quick, and then I got to ask you about the next one. 160 divided by 6. That's $26 million a year. So obviously, in my personal opinion, going back to the whole Xander thing, I think it was about years, and I guess they weren't offering that. But then again, it could be money too.
He
By
was
the way,
gonna
fellas,
take the years. I mean, let's just be honest. He's gonna take all the money. It's like 70 plus extra million a year. I mean, it's like 70 extra million total.
now before I get to this one, do you have any contracts that are like past the 5-year mark on the books at this point? Because I can't
I
think of
was
many.
I was thinking about that, and I can't remember the last time the Sox have signed a big contract like that. They just don't do that.
I mean, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Like the
Right.
largest contract I could think to this point, in terms of years, maybe Trevor Story, 6 years, 140.
That was a lot. I was like, wow, that's a lot for
For
usually
the
for
Red
the Sox.
Sox.
So maybe that's the biggest one.
I would probably put that on the money. By the way, fellas, it's Giants Eagles week. Need to get hyped. And even though it looks bad, we got to punch them birds in the face and
Hey,
pass rush against Hurts, run the damn ball, stop the run too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get your thoughts before we jump back into baseball on this because I was there this weekend when they tied.
I did. Oh, okay. So I saw you outside. I didn't know if you guys were going to the game or not. That's awesome. Um, it, they kept talking about the tie where what's his name, the formerly the Redskins quarterback ran into the wall with his neck. Do you know the guy's name? The last time they tied, it's a famous tie.
I don't remember. I know they tied in 97 against the Redskins.
I think that was it. That was the game. But anyways, it's tough. The Giants had so many damn chances to win that game. And in such a big division game, you have them in 2 weeks as well. 3 division games in a row. That's a must-win game, especially with the rest of the division being so good. I want to hear your thoughts being at the game, but I'm like, we have so many chances to win. Gano should have hit that last game. I mean, tell me your thoughts.
Oh, that stupid tie. But guys, keep putting your baseball questions in. I'm just going to explain my experience from this past weekend because I haven't explained it to Sox yet. So, we got up I got up at 6 in the morning. I got up at 6 in the morning on Sunday. Took the 7:50 bus from Port Authority to MetLife Stadium. Got in around 8:10. Talking Giants did a nice job with the tailgates. They catered from this local diner. And with that being said, there was like beer, there was drinks, there was all these different things. Of course, me being kind of a party animal. 5 shots of Captain Morgan, one of Jack Daniels to try. Hopefully, I mean, then again, too, I shouldn't have had a drink in between because actually, no, because drinking afterwards would have me forget what I had experienced. So,
Okay.
I guess that would have been better situations. So maybe tailgating afterward would have been a better alternative. But nice job by those guys with the tailgate. Had a lot of fun. Then moving forward, went into the game, did all that sort of stuff. Watched the tie, which I'm not happy about. Pretty good seats. I gotta pull up a picture of our view. Maybe I'll do that in a little bit. But after that, we had some New Jersey Transit controversy because it's New Jersey. And then we got into the arena around 6:20, probably halfway through the first quarter. And the Knicks ended up winning. We went out for dinner afterwards.
Sounds like a hell of a day, man. I was commenting on your story. I'm jealous. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we were supposed to do a double header, me, my friend Sean, and Luca, actually in June, because the Yankees were set to play, I want to say the A's at 1:00, and the Astros were set to play the Mets at like 7. So we were thinking of doing a double header, but because of the lockout and all these different things that matched into it, It was impossible, unfortunately, but glad that we did that. As for the tie, I thought the Giants played very scared at moments. They didn't let Jones throw enough till the end of the game, and ended up costing us. But also the run defense was pretty bad, and has been. Will depth pieces now get 6-year deals? I don't know about 6 years, but at the same time, I mean, they'll get increased salaries because Tyon, who's a mid pitcher, Jameson Tyon, who came from the Yankees, signed with the Cubs, got $17 million a year. Normally, maybe like 2, 3, 5 years ago, you don't think Jameson Tyon gets that much. Got that much. So, of the Yankees, don't get that. If the Yankees don't get that left field situation solved, the lineup will struggle, I think. I mean, if they do the way they're doing things right now in terms of left field and really the roster, their lineup it's basically running the team back. Stars get 8+. I mean, that's it. We've seen different contracts, right? The Braves, they sign all their young guys really, really early. They probably were a pioneer in that. So shout outs to the Braves. Jeff says Verlander, Scherzer, Quintana, Carrasco, McGill, and Peterson, not a bad starting rotation. I'll give my thoughts on that in just a minute because I'm going to dissent with a lot of Mets fans in one stature. All Boston fans should be asking for a refund.
I mean, as someone who already has their tickets, we're going to go to the games. It's just like, give us a reason
to go to the game.
But
to be fair, Sox, you're giving the Padres money. You're not giving the Red Sox money.
That's fair. I am giving the Padres money. So give the Fenway faithful a reason to go to those games. They're going to be there anyways. Give them a reason.
Maybe. I mean, obviously this won't happen right now, but maybe those tickets will lower for June. Hint, hint.
Hey, maybe.
All Boston. You already went over this one.
Even if they're garbage, we can go.
Listen. I will go either way.
Yes.
Yankees, Red Sox. You can't beat that rivalry.
Yes.
Chris Davis, though, that's a big ass mistake. That was a terrible contract. Like, I mean, he would. If I'm gonna be completely transparent and completely polite, Cody Bellinger is a much better Chris Davis because after Bellinger hit like 50 some odd home runs, he fell off. But it didn't force him into retirement. But Chris Davis was terrible. Nimmo getting $20 million a year, how I see it. Yoshida, Steel Bro. Yeah, I mean, Yoshida, I don't remember the contract numbers off the top of my head, but I mean, Nimmo getting $20 million a year, I think it's fine because that was his market. That was his market at the end of the day. I disagree, Jeff, that bullpen is going to get burned out, but all those starters won't go deep very often. Man swings in like lefty Dustin. He's talking to Tony. He says it'll depend on the health of the starting rotation. They're bringing in a ton of relievers to compound for their starters, probably only getting 5 to 6 innings a game. And this is a good question. I do want to get some thoughts on the Mets as well. Your thoughts on the Mets? They have a great bunch of young players coming up. So I'm actually going to be this is not to hate on the Mets. I will give my honest opinion. I don't think Justin Verlander moves the needle in what the Mets need to do. Now, if you're talking regular season, getting Justin Verlander in, it does wonders. Cy Young winner, there is a worry that he's 39, 40 years old. So there's that. And then obviously goes over DeGrom because DeGrom could not stay healthy in the regular season. But we've always talked about, in a Yankee way, how they need to move to the next round, that they can't be one and done. The Mets, obviously, last year, they went to the playoffs and they got knocked out by the Padres. Obviously, their pitching was not so great in that series. DeGrom was the only good pitcher in that series. Bassett shit the bed. And Max Scherzer shit the bed. Scherzer's not really a good postseason pitcher. So, just in my opinion, Verlander does not move the needle. My thoughts.
Remember that in the regular season between those two teams, I think they faced something like 15 times, and the Dodgers won 12 or 13 of them, and they just fell apart against the Padres in the postseason. That's an important note to make.
Another important note to make, and I actually once again got criticized by Met fans for my take on Twitter, which Twitter's Twitter. but a lot of people throwing in my face, oh, yeah, Verlander. You know, he struck out how many Yankees in like 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. I'm like, that's not hard to do. Our lineup is very shit. I mean, I've been saying that for a long time. But they do have a bright future in different aspects. Francisco Alvarez is a hell of a catcher. I got a baseball signed by him. Brett Beatty's a hell of a guy as well. Pete Alonso. So there's things to be happy about if you're a Met fan. I'll also get on the Quintana thing in just a second. Francisco Lindor was actually at the game that I was at for the Knicks because I think it's a connection between him and Donovan Mitchell, who is a Mets fan. But as for the Quintana thing, I think let me look up his stats real quick. Off of a year in the Central of the National League. So last year he was 6-7, 2.93 ERA, 32 games started with an opposing batting average of 246. So I'm going to put it lightly. He's a mid pitcher. Obviously, he actually started out, maybe people don't know this, he started out as a Yankee a few years ago. I think he's a mid pitcher. He's in his 30s, but I think it's a solid signing. I mean, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with Quintana. Bassett was a number 1, number 2 guy in Oakland. That didn't work out for the long haul, and that's probably why the Mets aren't re-signing Bassett. Quintana, you know what you're getting. And you know, I think it's a solid signing for the Mets. Your thoughts?
I think that's fair. I make a good point. I think it's interesting that static about Quintana not going deep into games, but it's not a big deal. I think they're going to have a good rotation.
And also, they obviously re-signed Edwin Diaz a couple of months ago. I mean, coming off the year, you have to sign him to another contract.
Yeah.
That's one. B, with Robertson, you get a pretty nice. Now, he was a closer with the Cubs, and then he went to the Phillies. I don't know if he did that well or not, but latter end of the career and using him as a setup guy, I think it's a steal. Now, I would like to see if they go out and get another bullpen arm because that's where they need some, I would say, refurbishing. But if you get a guy like Andrew Chafin, that bullpen could be so much better than it was, really the last few years. You're probably right, and all those pitchers are 33 and older. Yeah. Story needs to be comeback player of the year. I hope he bounces back.
Yeah, I think even if he has a successful year, for some reason I don't see him getting, comeback player of the year necessarily. But it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be that captain on the offense. It could be him if he steps up. But you can't expect him to. I mean, he just got signed. He's practically a brand new player. Who's going to be that guy? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few hitters to credit the Red Sox to start the year. We're talking about 300 batting averages and up. JD, Xander.
They had like 6 guys at one point.
Yeah, 6 guys, over 300 batting average. I mean, Ref Snyder was at one point who got a really good start with y'all. Devers. I don't think it's going to be the same thing because obviously Martinez is unsigned. Bogarts is gone. Devers is still a Red Sox. So, I mean, and Trevor Story's coming off a year where he hit, 220 something?
Yeah. So,
I expect the defense. I just don't expect the offense.
Right.
Baker Mayfield always sucks. We had the ball at the 45-yard line and went backwards. Yes, we did. John Felicio is a dumbass, Mr. Flex a lot. Yeah, I don't know what there's to flex if you're John Feliciano. I think it was Mark Rippon that rammed his head into the wall. Is that the guy?
That's the guy, exactly.
Jeff says he thinks it was Gus Farrow, but it was Mark Rippon, at least according to Sox. With that being said, yes, that's a phrase I've came on to. Yeah. I should have gotten wasted afterwards, but I didn't. Obviously, reverse tailgating. Red Sox need outfielders. I mean, I think they're pretty decent in the outfield.
You need a starter.
You need a starter. Wonder where Carlos Rodon goes. Giants played not to lose. As I said earlier, the Red Sox are looking in on Carlos Rodon, which I don't like. The Orioles are doing their due diligences on him. But I want the Yankees to go after him, and I'm going to go into that. And what I will say is this. At the hour mark, we'll go into our NFL picks for the week, and then we'll bounce right back to baseball. So just to keep that one out for you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Sox get Gallo. I mean, I complained about him enough to where Sox knows what type of player he is. If they get Gallo, the next podcast is just going to be me laughing my ass off.
I've already had enough with this, the off season, and it just started.
What more damage can you do?
Yeah, I know. It only gets better from here, hopefully.
Says I cursed the Giants. Yeah, I mean, I could possibly see that trifecta with the Giants because I saw them lose in the preseason against the Jets live. I saw them tie, and I'm going against the Colts on New Year's Day. So hopefully that turns into a win. Yeah, Cody Bellinger really fell off. I like some of the rookies. Alvarez, Ronnie Mauricio, Alex Ramirez, Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos. Mauricio is a hell of a kid. I mean, I saw him a couple of times here in Brooklyn, which is their single A affiliate before and after COVID. But he's a hell of a player, Mauricio. I'll tell you that right now. All 5 should be key pieces for the team heading into 2023. Yeah, I mean, the Mets have a bright future. I'm 50-50 on Verlander. He's 40 years old. I will wonder if he'll stay healthy. He did have an IL stint last year, to my knowledge, but
I think he'll stay healthy. It's just how effective will he be?
I think he'll be effective, but I don't think he'll be Cy Young effective.
Yeah.
If you want my honesty. Quintana was solid last year. We needed a middle rotation left-handed pitcher. Yeah, Bassett to Baltimore, please. I mean, yeah, I could see him working in Baltimore. Now I'm going to put this out there. Hopefully you guys can take this information and put it on social media as well. But I'm not going to sit here and trust any pitcher that comes from the Oakland Athletics anymore in a big market. We saw what Montas did with the Yankees. We saw what Sonny Gray did with the Yankees. We saw what Chris Bassett did with the Mets. They looked all really good with the Athletics. Yeah. Obviously, that's not the case in New York. But I think Chris Bassett could fit well as a Baltimore Oriole. I think I have Noah Syndergaard on my predictions going to the Baltimore Orioles. I also have Jameson Tyon going. Well, I had Tyon going to the Orioles. Now he's Cub. Not sure where Bassett will go. Have to think about extending Alonzo McNeil soon. I'm surprised that they're not forward thinking with that, but you guys have a pretty chunky salary. I do need more bullpen help. This is a very good question. Who will win the AL and NL East?
I mean, who do you think is going to win the NL East?
I'm gonna throw it out there and say the Mets.
I can see that. I think they're trying to win right now. I can see that.
I'm going to throw it out there and say the Mets. Now, they've made some decent bullpen additions. Obviously, you sign Nimmo back. Huge. Verlander is a very good regular season pitcher. Robertson's a very good bullpen arm. I just don't see how you can't. And then you had, Jeffrey's mentioning it before, all the young guys. How can you not win that division? Now, obviously, you have Atlanta and they're doing their thing. I'd like to see what they do at shortstop, though, because, Dansby Swanson's a free agent. So, in terms of the NL East, I'll say the Mets. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you with the Mets. I like what the Braves are doing. I like how they build their roster. So it's between those two teams. They seem to get hot at the end of the year, but we'll see what they can do pitching wise. I like the Mets pitching staff a lot with those young guys. That's a good point. In terms of the AL East, I think the Yankees win it.
It's very tough. Very tough because I'm not going to sit here and throw pom-poms into the ring. But what I will say is this. Obviously, the Rays are the Rays. They really haven't made any adjustments. Like, they traded G-Man Choi. They haven't done anything else. They gave up Brooks Raley in the Rule 5, who's a pretty solid pitcher. He's got some really good stuff. That's also a solid addition for the Mets, Brooks Raley. So another bullpen arm. The Jays, man, I'm sorry. They come in every year as this hype team, and they could only do shit in the regular season. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Yankees win the AL East.
Yeah,
now, I'm not confident
going out on a limb.
I'm not confident in that. because the Yankees, if it wasn't for the fact that the Rays and the Jays suck so much, they wouldn't be in that spot.
I mean, Judge got his money. Judge got his money. It's locked in. The way they played last year, I think they just keep riding it. I really do. I mean, Toronto's going to be good in the regular season. Tampa, who knows? I honestly, I think they might run away with it. I told you this last year as well. I told you these boys are going to win it. I mean, we'll see what happens, but they're going to be a good ball club.
Yeah, I mean, you compare that to the rest of the AL East. Unfortunately, it's no competition. Like, the only team that got better. Which team got better in the AL East?
I mean, I like what Baltimore did last year, but have they gotten better? That's the question. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's where I am. It's like, But real quickly, just to get it out of the way, of course, I'm going to clear my board, and then we'll get back to baseball. Just a little bit of an intermission. You guys can keep asking your baseball questions, and of course, we'll get to them. Gonna file into our NFL picks for the week. So what I did was, because I forgot to ask you last week, there was a lot of things on my mind last week. Forgot to ask you for your picks, but I evened out the records. So as it was week 12, I've evened it out for week 13. So because I evened it out and all these different things, the current records in total, I'm 113 and 83, and Sox is 103 and 92. So there is that. But just because this game is going on, I had the Rams originally in tonight's game, and I think they're probably getting their ass beat because of a bet I made a few weeks back. Raiders lost to the Colts. I said before that game, if the Colts end up winning, the Raiders I'm picking to lose the rest of the season, and I'm still going to do, that in that fashion.
Sox, I'll go on the record. Yes, I'll go on the record. I'm pulling for the Raiders because I need big points from Devontae Adams on fantasy, so I picked them.
Very prospect of the Raiders, by the way. Only 13-3 when it really should be a blowout. But I'm gonna go into the scores for this week, aka also the betting odds and all these different things. Jaguars, Titans. Tennessee is 3.5-point favorites. Where are you going, Sox?
I'm going to take the Jags to upset in this one.
Duly noted. I'm taking Tennessee. Moving on, we got the Buffalo Bills hosting the New York Jets, and it's going to snow this weekend. Buffalo is 10-point favorites.
I think 10 might be a little bit tough in the snow. Now, hopefully it doesn't snow too much, so they move the game to Detroit again, because in that case, it'll be a Buffalo Bills blowout because they win in Detroit more than the Lions do. But I'm going to take Buffalo in this one.
Wait, give me 1 second. I want to put something in for the chat. Just to give a reminder, this is a little intermission, and then we'll go back right into baseball. But with that being said, I am going to take the Buffalo Bills. Now, Joe Burrow is winless against the Browns in his career, and the Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. Deshaun Watson is back, but didn't look so great last week. Where are you going, Sox?
Browns win.
Knowing some of Ohio background that shrivels in your blood, I wasn't surprised by that one. I say Joe Burrow gets his first W against the Browns. This one is another AFC North one. The Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's unlikely from what I hear that Lamar is playing this week. Pittsburgh is favored by 2. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, same here. I like what they got going on. The offense has been playing pretty well down there.
I am over advantageous with all these different home team wins, but I can tell you this much: I ain't picking the home team in the next one. Kansas City against the terrible Denver Broncos, 9.5-point favorites. Give me Kansas City.
The Broncos won't even try to win this game.
Nope. Next game, Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 3-point underdogs. Give me the Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins.
All right. Moving into AFC versus NFC. Oh, boy. Dallas is hosting the Texans. 17.5 points favored in Dallas's direction. Davis Mills is back at quarterback. Sorry, Tony. I'm taking Dallas.
That spread is unreal, and I would not be surprised. I mean, the Houston Texans team, seeing Dallas put up that many points, 33 points in the fourth quarter against Indianapolis, and then they got to play them next week. That's tough. So I don't know about the spread. I think Houston covers, but I'll take Dallas to win.
All right, and then the Monday night game, New England is 1.5-point favorites against Arizona. Arizona's off a bye. I'm going to go out on a limb and take Arizona.
Yeah, Cards win at home on primetime.
The Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. And this one is a really weird spread. Detroit is actually favored by 2.
That's crazy. You got, 10-2 Vikings going in there, and they're not favored to win. I'm going to take the Vikings to win.
I'm going to go with my home team trend, and I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. So we're at this game. I was at this game last year, and they pulled out a victory out of their ass. Now, I don't remember the spread. I could probably look it up. It's not like the Eagles were world beaters like they are this year, last year. I'm just going to take a look at that spread from last year, but they are currently 7-point favorites, meaning the Philadelphia Eagles. Sox, I already know where you're going with this one.
If it was one game, that I realistically wanted to pick against the New York Giants, I will be honest, it would be this one, but I'm not going to do it. Giants win.
Save that for the end of the season, maybe. Save that for the end of the season.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be worthy. But then again, we'll see what happens then. So last year when I went, it was a 4-point underdog in the Giants' direction. And right now it's a 7-point. I thought very hard these past 2 minutes about taking the New York Giants in an upset. Leo Williams is trending towards not playing this week, and I think an upset is very real. But I'm going to take the Eagles, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I don't want to do it. Coming into this year, I had the Giants beating the Eagles at home. I just don't see it, unfortunately. The Giants are going to have to pull a couple of victories out of their ass in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
This one may be included. This one, Bucks at 49ers. The 49ers, 3.5-point favorites. Brock Purdy is their starting quarterback.
49ers win at home.
See, Brady knows California like the back of his fucking hand.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Bucks road win. And then finally, Panthers off the bye. Sam Darnold against Geno Smith. So it's the former Jet QB battle. Panthers at Seahawks. The Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. This would be a great win if Carolina wins it because it would help us. But Sox, where are you going with this?
Seattle wins at home.
I concur. There was a question in the chat that I wanted. Oh, before we get into baseball, I know I've seen some baseball comments that we got to get to. What are your thoughts on this OBJ situation?
Very interesting. I was honestly really turned on about it. Like in the beginning, I wanted the Giants to go at him. I know it's not realistic, the money and all that, but again, the emotional side of things. Why not? Go get him. But the fact that he's going around meeting with these teams, saying, "No, I'm not working out." Like at this point, I don't even want him on my team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all set up for the future. I've come to realize that because the Giants and the Bills leaked nothing of his physical, but apparently it's really bad. And personally, if I was OBJ, I would not go to Dallas next year because they leaked all the shit. I'd hold a grudge. I'd say I want to play these guys, and I'd come back to the Giants. But we'll see what happens. In free agency, because likely right now he's not ready, and I don't see the Giants making a playoff run. Also, shout outs to Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, and Angry John is in the chat as well, I've seen. If they were not going to sign JD Martinez, why not trade him at last year's deadline and get something for him? That's a very good question as well. But
because they
I
just want to let
also
him
think,
leave in free agency for nothing because that's what they love doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think now. Obviously, you could trade if he was on the Astros, we would have been even more done for. Now, obviously, we got
Right.
swept, but I don't think he would have had that much of a market where you compare it to Xander Bogaerts. Xander Bogaerts, I think, would have had a bigger market, and you get a couple of different guys back. Jeff says Yankees need to get more starting pitching. Carlos Rodon, that's there. Good, curious to hear both your NFL picks. They better not lose to the damn Colts and broken down Matt Ryan. If they do, I'm going to be very, very upset.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the odds are stacked against me because every time I go to a game with Donald, now this hasn't fluctuated in terms of the Giants, but every Yankee game I went to with Donald, we lost. No hitter. Nasty Nestor night. Game against the Reds. The only game where I went to a game with him and we won. We ended up leaving early because obviously it was, it's Jersey, so a lot of shit closes early. But it was the Somerset Patriots, the AA affiliate of the Yankees. But I'm 0-3 with Donald at games.
Does Donald live overseas? Does he come overseas?
Donald lives in Scotland.
Dude, that is awesome. That is absolutely badass.
And he says he would love to get the hell out of there and come to the States. And I said, yeah, you
really?
should. Yeah, we've been having some conversations. What's up, guys? What's up, Donovan? Warriors fan, Yankees fan as well. What's up, guys? I would love for the Yankees to sign Carlos Correa. I would too, but I'm also kind of concerned, and I'm never really concerned about a player in this type, but why is he the last shortstop off the market?
Yeah.
Second to last.
True.
Dansby Swanson's also out there. But let me ask you this, Sox. I know you live in the California area. Now, obviously, I don't know how close you are. I think San Diego and LA are distances from each other. What are your thoughts on the Dodgers not pursuing Correa because it would piss off their fan base? And that's real, by the way.
Yeah. No, to be honest with you, that's the reason I don't want him in Boston because they're not all the way in on the Astros cheating, all that stuff, because the Red Sox kind of got caught doing the same thing, technically, with the Apple Watches and all that stuff. But that's the reason Sox fans don't want them, because it would piss off the fan base. So I'm not surprised at all, man. That LA thing is real. And I don't think they would be proponents of that move at all.
See, I used to think in that fashion, but I'm like, last year, I kind of turned my mindset around. I said, you know what? The Yankees need a guy like Correa in that locker room. Got to really light a fire under somebody's ass. So that's why Yankees, I say.
Honestly, I feel like Yankees fans would, if they signed him, they would turn a blind eye to that whole cheating thing. As
they should, honestly. Now, yeah. Brian Cashman said a year ago, he kept mentioning the cheating scandal, which is like, that was how many years ago now?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I forgive anyone who did that. Also, the Yankees were involved in some stuff. Red Sox were as well. The Yankees thing is probably the least confirmed out of the three with whatever they did. I forget, it was the sealed letter, all these different things. But last year, obviously, they had a big race. They weren't even contacting Correa. I mean, we'll see what happens. I just don't think they're going to go in that direction. I think, if I'm going to be completely transparent, I think they're going to look for something in left field, whether it's Brian Reynolds or Conforto. They'll try to get Rodon. And if they don't get Rodon, I think that's going to be it. They have to trade one of these contracts in Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks, or both. Because if they don't, I'm going to be pretty fucking pissed off. Just want to check something out real quick. We are at 797. Guys,
let's go.
Can we get to 800? Can we get to 800
There's 16
tonight?
People in this chat. Real quick, there's 16 people and 17 people in this chat. This man puts out more great New York Giants content than anybody else, including Yankees stuff, including other stuff as well. Nick's stuff is on this channel. Hit that subscribe button. 800 plus will happen right now. This guy puts out great content. Hit that subscribe button.
Number three. And we've had a great chat tonight, people. Three more.
Great job, guys.
Just three more. Angry John says Bassett wasn't bad, but he hasn't proven to pitch in big games. That's my fear about, Montas. That's why I said, as you said, he wasn't bad for you guys, but he was number. Let's do a comparison real quick. let's do a comparison. So I'm going to look up Chris Bassett's stats with the Mets and maybe like the past 2 years with the A's. And I was a guy that wanted Chris Bassett. I said the Yankees should go out and trade for this guy rather than go get Mania or rather than go get a guy like Montas. Obviously, I was right about Montas, not that I want to be. So 3.42 ERA, 15-9 with the Mets last year, 234 batting average against. And in 2020, I mean, if you want to consider that a season, I really don't. 5-2, 2.29 ERA, 3.15 ERA in 2021, 12-4, opposing batting average of 218. 10-5, 3.81 ERA, 229. So it's the big game factor. And there isn't, I thought there would be more of a difference between Oakland and New York. But with that being said, there's not much of a difference. And I guess it's a good thing that they got him with 1 year contract, 1 year on the contract left. Sounds like Correa will sign with the Giants. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't know where the rumors are and all these different things yet. There's not been much action since we've gone live, but we'll see. Giants do need to sign Julian Love in the offseason. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt. Tampa and Philly, that's who he thinks will win the AL and NL East. Philly. They could be up there. They could be up there. I think the Mets win, not because I'm a Mets fan. As I said, I think it's unbiasedly, I think it's going to be the Yankees and the Mets as of right now, because obviously there's going to be a total scrap heap for that NL East title where you look at the AL East and it's not very good, unfortunately. Like, the Orioles will always try to be up there. They'll try to get up there with the young talent they have. The Yankees, I mean, it seems like right now they're being complacent, which I don't want them to be, but we'll see what happens.
Just 2 years ago, we were talking about how the AL East is the best in the world. Like it's dropped off like nobody's business. I can't believe it.
It's bad. We still need an established DH in the middle of the lineup. Do you guys still have Vogelback? Is a good question, because Vogelback? I know you were saying.
No, go ahead.
Because I don't know if Angry John is still here, but I think he's a very much anti-Daniel Vogelback guy. I mean, Vogelback is the prototypical DH, but
right.
Yeah, I don't think if the Yankees were to trade for Vogelback, I'd fucking flip. Do you think the Braves and Phillies pose a threat? Yes, I do. I don't think the Marlins pose any type of threat. And the Nationals, they're in fucking hell. That's where they are. Through the first 5 in the lineup is pretty formidable. Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonzo McNeil, excuse me. But you also can't be top heavy. So it's up to the Mets to really juggle that bottom of the lineup. Francisco Alvarez, you could put in as 6 through 9. Figure the rest of the lineup out. You don't want it to be a dead spot like the Yankees, like some of these other different teams. And I know that was a pretty big problem for the Mets last year. I also think the Yanks, Baltimore's on their way up, and they have a great minor league system, one of the best. Boston to sign Gallo and Sanchez. That would be the highlight of my day whenever that happens, if Boston were to sign Joey Gallo and Gary Sanchez. That would be absolutely hilarious. Have to see it from Rayleigh. He's been bad over his career and finally good season. Have to see if he can have back-to-back good seasons. There's obviously wonders. There's obviously wonders of, was he just that pitcher in Tampa Bay because of the pitching staff? Kind of similar concerns when it comes to Carlos Rodon because he wasn't good the first few years of his career. Now he's good. And I was shouting it from the rooftops last year to get him. Now everybody's shouting with me. Orioles just have a ton of good young players. Jets beat the Bills. It's the upset of the week. Not only 13-3 Raiders, which once again I said I was surprised in. Skipping through some of the picks and stuff. I do need to say that Watson does need more time. OBJ said about he and Barkley, we never got to do what we were supposed to do. Yeah, that was win a title, but obviously we know what happened there. Pats over Cards. Niners to kick ass again. Detroit wins. This will be a close one. Minnesota. Gotta go down. Do you guys honestly think the Rangers can compete with Houston? I seriously don't think so. I think DeGrom doesn't even make 20 starts. I want to ask you about that. Now, I'm going to take a look at his numbers in terms of contract because I've been forgetting it over the last few days. But what do you think about Jacob DeGrom signing with Texas? And that's a prediction I got right, by the way.
That's very interesting that you predicted that. I didn't see that coming, but I thought that the Rangers were going to be better than they were last year, and I think they might be good this upcoming year as well because they proved that they wanted to win with Seager. Like you don't just go out there and get these guys if you don't want to win. That division, you never know. You know, it's like Houston, who's going to step up between Oakland and Seattle, but hopefully the Texas Rangers can be that team, and that's what they want to do. I like it.
Yeah, so Jacob DeGrom, 185 divided by 5, $37 million a year.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. He has to stay healthy, and he hasn't stayed healthy over the course of his career. Obviously, he's worth that money when he's healthy, but obviously, and you don't want to be paying a pitcher that when you're not making the playoffs. And I think pitching was a pretty large weakness for them last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, they signed John Gray to a good contract. Well, I mean, good in terms of a chunk contract last year. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. Semien really had a nice second half. Let's see what else. Yeah, OBJ's probably not after all this other stuff. Red Sox might as well trade. I mean, JD's not a free agent. JD is a free agent. What am I saying? JD is a free agent. They haven't signed him. John's drinking the Kool-Aid. Yes, sub up to both of us, Sox and myself, Big Blue in the Bronx, and also sub up to the channels in the description, Nerding Out Sports, Big Beat Reactions with this guy. Do you think the years is the hold up for Rodon? I think they need to go to 200, and I think they need to go to 6. Now, if I'm going to do that math off the top of my head, that's $33 million a year. Now, is it going to be those exact numbers? No. But I think either one of those or both of those you need to hit if you're the Yankees. And why not? He's the best power lefty you have a chance to get since Robbie Ray. And even before that, like, when was the last time the Yankees had a good power lefty? That's right, CC Sabathia in 2009. You think the Yankees are going to get Rodon?
Nope.
You don't think they're going to get Rodon?
I like the Sox going after him. I know you guys want him over there, but
I will flip shit if the Sox get Rodon.
I bet you would, but
flip.
The fan base is calling for a starter. He's right there. Go get him. Steal him from out under the Yankees' nose.
Go get Sean. We don't want Sean Manaea going to the Red Sox.
No. You might have called that, yeah, but I'd be pissed. Because no, you did. You called that because I remember mentioning that he no-hit us in 2018 or so.
It would only do justice.
Yeah,
do justice.
Let's get Rodon.
Yes. But no, not for the Red Sox, for the Yankees. I do think they'll get him, though. If I'm gonna be completely transparent and completely honest. Sox Arizona is the former Detroit Tigers shortstop that they used to be with the Red Sox. He's a free agent.
The former Tiger short,
former Tiger,
Boston,
Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, John. I think that is Jonathan Scope. Yeah, but wait, was he with the Red Sox?
I don't think he was with. I think maybe he's talking about options. Scope is not a free agent. I thought he was, but that's a good question. Let me see if I have it under my shortstop names. Correa, no. Swanson, no. I honestly forget because it's not Jonathan Scope.
No.
Doesn't hurt to give a shot on Conforto. No, thank you. Hasn't played baseball in like a year. Yankees should trade for Devers. Defense, I don't have a concern too much, even though that would be a weakness in any other situation because the Yankees are good with defense. The power would be excellent. But with that being said, the Red Sox at their lowest point would never trade a superstar to the Yankees. Never. Boston have become head scratches, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. I was laughing my ass off when, my brother, I got to get the clips from my brother, but there was some really, really whacked whacked out. So we were streaming. I don't know if you heard about it, Sox, but a few days ago, before we went to the game on Sunday, we were streaming the Mavs-Knicks game, and they got their asses kicked. I'm going to try to look on Twitter, see if my brothers posted the reaction, but Donald was just straight up flipping out. I mean, he was
Really?
it was some shit I never seen before. But what I will include as well is I did promise you a picture of our view from
Yes.
MetLife. I'll also show you a picture of our view from the Knicks game.
I might have seen your MetLife picture. Did you post it?
I want to say I posted both of them, but I'll definitely post in as well. I'm going to post them right in here. Let's see something real quick. Still at 797, guys. Let's get us up to the number
go.
2,
Hit that
number
sub
800.
button.
Yes.
All of the 4 people watching on my channel right now, go over to Big Blues, hit that subscribe button, come on back, and then we'll get that done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to post it right in here real quick. So this was my view. I don't know if you could see it from, that is the second deck at MetLife Stadium.
I love the end zones, by the way. The throwback feel, I absolutely love it.
Awesome. And then one more. This is from the Knicks game. This is the best seats. And what we did, and now it was kind of a bullshit, I would say, procedure we did, because it ended up fucking us over in the end, but at the same time it didn't. The price originally to go to the Cavs game was like $115, and we're like, you know what? I've seen games go down in pricing a lot. Let's just wait. So we waited until the Giants game, after the Giants game, to purchase them. So it was last minute, obviously. $52.
Yep.
That's the view.
Nice. Yes.
All
they
good
just,
stuff.
you know, they practically give those tickets away once it's like closer to game time.
Of course. Just want to make sure I got to obvious.
The Raiders are letting the Rams stick around in this game, by the way.
What's the score?
It's still 16-3. The Rams are about to score. It looks like they've been driving really a lot this game. They just can't finish drives.
Yeah, that stream that's going to go on the clips. There's going to be at the on the last episode of the Boys in the Big Apple podcast for the year, which I think is, if I'm not mistaken, the day after Christmas. It's going to be the day after Christmas, and then we're going to go into a little bit of a break, as I usually do. We're going to be probably doing a presentation of like the funniest clips from live streams and really on the channel all year. Let's see. Player more painful to watch with your teams: Josh Donaldson, Julius Randle, Kenny Galladay, Aaron Hicks, Evan Fournier, John Feliciano.
Kenny Galladay.
Oh my God! I mean, is this a question or is this just like you know?
It's just yes. That's a fact.
Yes to all of them. I had RJ Barrett, by the way. At RJ Barrett. I'm going to the club on his birthday. He should be in the gym making shots. For Alex, not sure. Red Sox were really bad last year. Vogelback is he's okay. We picked up his 2023 option. He's a platoon player. Mets might be in on JD Martinez. You know, that'd be an upgrade over a Vogelbach.
Yeah, I mean, it really would. I don't know. I can see that happening.
Hopefully your kids in the lineup really step up and produce. I would hope so as well. I mean, obviously not for my benefit. Already subscribed? Yes. James Wood on the Nats will be a powerhouse. James Wood. Maybe I'm not getting it, but I'll probably figure it out later on when I'm not even thinking about this. Thoughts on the Rangers? I don't see them. Oh yeah, I've already went through this one. I feel like, really, Joe? But this is a killer Joe in the building. It's, to be fair, it's my college. Okay, Joe? Okay.
Yeah. Looks good. Looks like Red Sox red.
Yeah, unfortunately it does. But then again, you got the gray under here. You know what, Joe?
Red Sox wear gray too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But what was the thing I was going to say? Don't be. You remember you were Judge Pessimist. And I called you out on it before the deal was even official. Sox Arizona, thoughts on Josh Bell to Cleveland?
Cleveland stinks, and that's what I'll say. Cleveland will always stink, and I know they went to the World Series in 2016. It's just they're going to do Ohio things, you know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a very Cleveland move. Like, to be fair and transparent, I had him going to the Cubs, and like Cleveland's a better Cubs team.
They're better Cubs. Yeah.
It's a good deal for Cleveland. Josh Bell in Cleveland's great. I really think we might keep Ozzie in left with Yoshida and Nimmo contracts. Bentley I want to get your gauge on this. And I agree with the prospect of it, but I think the Yankees have pivoted themselves in a situation where it's almost unbearable that you have to do it. So a lot of people, including myself, think it's not ideal to give Andrew Benintendi a long-term contract worth over 3 years and worth like something in the 100 to 200 million range. But obviously with the Yankees position where it's trade for Reynolds or Benintendi, you don't want Conforto. I mean, he hasn't played baseball in like a year. Would you give like a 6-year contract to Benintendi? He's not that type of ball player. He's not a cornerstone ball player.
No, I don't think you can build around a guy like Andrew Benintendi. Is he a great asset to have? Yes, he's gonna give you contact. He's gonna make plays in the outfield. But no, you're not gonna give him 6+ years.
No, not at all. Jose Iglesias. I mean, that could be a Red Sox signing. Get him up to 800. Yes, sir. I do think the Baltimore will be contender in 24. Your thoughts? Who should I sub to? Well, I mean, you can. I think you probably said you subbed Rob. But obviously sub to myself, Big Blue in the Bronx. Sox Arizona. Every time we do Dead Red, we stream it on both channels to get the viewers up and the subscriptions up and all those other things. So Sox Arizona. He runs another channel by the name of Big Beat Reactions. So you got a music suggestion of any type, you're gonna throw it at him, and he'll put it in his notebook. And then there's NYY News TV. There's Nerding Out Sports, which covers a lot of Giants content. There's Pinstripe Chronicles, which covers Yankee content. And a lot of the folks that we bring on here, their social media is in the description. So I have that stuff. Alex, do you think the Boston Celtics will win on Sunday? Who do they play?
I think it's the Knicks.
Oh, boy.
And the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. There's no question about it. They just beat the number 1 seed in the West, Suns, they were up by 45 points at one point in that game in Phoenix. So you can pretty much lock the Celtics to win the title this year.
You're confident in that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the Celtics the last decade. They go deep in the playoff runs every single time. They just got to finish, and I think that's what they got to do this year.
Well, with Golden State you could have a chance. But no, the Knicks play Sacramento this weekend. Let's see who the Celtics play on Sunday. They don't play Sunday, but they do play Saturday against Golden State on prime time, and then they play the Clippers. So I don't know. I think Boston could definitely get a win there. Yes, thank you, Jeffrey. No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't keep garbage in my camera roll. But there's also that one picture of his ass getting dragged in training camp, which was weird. Rodon definitely going to the Yanks. Jack Curry doesn't normally hype free agents the way he has hyped up Carlos Rodon. Yeah, I mean, they've been talking a shit ton about him, and this is like unnormal. Like the Yankees have to close in on him, and if they don't close in on him, it's all hype for nothing. And I don't. It's going to be on the Yankees in the end, in my opinion, if they do or they don't get him. Yes, get Sox to 750. He's Cash's media puppet most of the time. Yeah, I mean, Jack Curry's a nice guy, but at the same time, look who you work for. You Raiders about to Raiders again. If they end up losing, I will laugh. You guys with the Knicks streams are bad as myself with Nets and Giants. Well, let me tell you something. I know, obviously, I don't know how many Knicks fans we do have in the chat right now, but look for a new podcast coming out on this channel at some point. Knicks podcast. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not taking part in it, but just going to leave a little cliffhanger out there. And I know it was discussed in a live stream we did against the Mavs, but obviously keep an eye out for that. Yeah, it's a frustrating question. It's Kenny Galladay by a long shot. Dude has 4 catches, 50 yards, also has 4 drops. Rams just scored a touchdown. James Wood is the Nats minor league system. Look at his numbers. I will do that. James Wood, Nationals. Okay, let's look at James Wood's stats. Okay, so he's 20 years old. I I must say, I like Rob's insight on these prospects he's given us. He gave us Marcelo Meyer, and now he's given us James Wood. So I appreciate it, man. Would love to see you in some more streams, get to know about some of these prospects more. But 2022 was a good year for James Wood. So he was taken in the 2021 draft by the Padres, and I'm gonna, if I'm gonna be, I would say transparent. I want to say he was in that Soto trade. So he had 12 home runs, 62 RBIs, 313 batting average. Pretty solid stats. Pretty solid stats for James Wood. Cleveland needs to change their name back. I agree.
Agreed. I will say I went to Cleveland this season. All of the gear, 100% of the. I didn't see one Guardians shirt there. All of it said Indians. I think the same goes at Washington Commanders games as well.
Right. I'm calling it right now. Gunnar Henderson, Rookie of the Year AL. Yeah, listen, if he has a really good year, I mean, I don't really see anyone else as of right now to be that guy. 16-10 Raiders over Rams, very close. Jacob, per Mike Rodriguez, I told you guys Carlos Rodon and the Yankees are on it. Well, they better be. I would definitely give Rodon 6 years. I mean, I would give Rodon 6 years. I think this might mean they're getting close to a deal or getting it done soon. I gotta check my Twitter because usually I don't check it too often, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I mean, I haven't got anything yet, but thank you for the updates, guys. Keep it coming in the chat. Jeff says, the Celtics, that being from a Nets fan, of course. I mean, Saturday they play Golden State on Saturday. Yeah, I think it's a win, but it's going to be down to the wire. Mike Rodriguez is Hector Gomez's friend. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. Sign Benny, the Yankees need outfield help. I do agree. Hate that team. They love torturing the Nets. That being the Boston Celtics.
Joe Johnson broke Paul Pierce's ankles, though. You got that.
And the Celtics play the Lakers this week coming up. The Lakers making a little bit of a rebound, at least from my knowledge. If Baker Mayfield beats the Raiders, yeah, I'm gonna be hero of the week.
This is big right here. The Raiders are going for it on 4th and 1 at the 2-minute warning, and I think they're on their side of the football, or their side of the field. Excuse me.
I'm gonna check Gamecast and see where they are. 4th and 1 at the Las Vegas 34. Hopefully they don't for their sake, but I'd be pretty pissed if I was a Raiders fan. I would laugh if I was a Rams fan. If you both were the GM of the Red Sox, how would you turn it around? What would you do?
Not let Xander Boagerts leave in free agency. That's the first thing I would do. I would have paid that man last year. I would pay Rafael Devers right now. I would extend JD Martinez because even though he had a bad year, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. The man hit 4 home runs in a game, mind you. I would go out and sign definitely not Kenley Jansen, but, I like that they're trying at least and then get a starter. That's a good start.
Okay, so I'm going to look up the salary table. And, of course, I forgot to add Chris Sale opted in.
Do you know that they spend less money than the Seattle Mariners on their roster?
The Red Sox have spent less money on the roster than the Mariners. That's what you're telling me.
That is a fact.
I mean, I guess that we know in the end why the Mariners are a better team.
Do the Sox care about their fans?
No.
They went out and bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm telling you, they don't have any direction.
I mean, having no direction. Wow, what New York team does that sound like? Oh, that's right, the fucking Knicks. But in contrast, I guess the Yankees, they bought AC Milan and are completely complacent. But speaking in Red Sox terms, then again too, it's only $4 million for James Paxton. I mean, what the fuck are you going to expect out of him? So if I was to turn around the Red Sox, right? If I was to turn them around, what would I do?
Keep Cora. Keep Cora.
I would definitely keep Alex Cora. So if I was going to turn them around from this point on, I would sign Carlos Correa because I think he'd be an excellent fit in Boston, regardless of what the fans say. I would stay stagnant with a catcher's position for right now. Now, of course, I'm going to be GM. I'm not going to be like this guy in MLB The Show who's going to make 100 different fucking moves. Like, if I had more money, I'd probably go out and spend it on Christian Vasquez. Or maybe even Wilson Contreras, another one I got right. But with that being said, as I always say, I'd keep McGuire as the catcher, though I don't necessarily believe he has a future in Boston. Obviously, you got Yoshida. I think your outfield is pretty set. I'd try to go after Rodon. If not, I would pivot to Sean Manaea and maybe Chris Bassett as well. So you get some rotation guys in there. Obviously, Evaldi's not there anymore. Nor is speaking of which, I know you complimented him all year. Why haven't the Red Sox re-signed Michael Wacha?
Yeah, I don't understand. I think his age might be the issue, and there might be some underlying health issues there too. But I'm a fan of that guy ever since I saw him pitch here in person in LA. I love Michael Wacha, and that's a guy that's been around a long time. It could be a cornerstone. I mentioned it multiple times. We played against him in the 2013 World Series when he's with the Cardinals. He's been around a while.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm not saying this is like, I'm not taking 100% your word for it about age, but if they really going to toss age out there, fucking Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer. I expect Hosmer to play well this year. His first full season in the system. It's going to be a little bit better for him.
So, and now trading for Hosmer and then trading him wouldn't make sense. And not like anyone's actually going to take him. So, in that regard, obviously keep the outfield the way it is. Go after Bassett and Manaea. I think that would be a really, at least decent top two in the rotation.
I think so too.
Bullpen wise, I'd sign Andrew Chafin. Because he's one of the better ones out there.
Imagine how many bombs he would give up over the Green Monster. I don't know if I love Andrew Chafin pitching in Boston.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I got a good look at him in Arizona when he's with the Diamondbacks. It's just, the contact rate I think is up with him. That's the issue.
Let's see. I'll look at other pitchers as well. Michael Fulmer, I think he'd be hit and miss in Boston. Same thing with Corey Knebel, hit and miss. But I would get Bassett, Manaea, one of those guys, sign Carlos Correa, and then you'd be like a half decent team at least. Yep. Hate that basketball, but Luka is great with play-by-play. Nets all day. Nets have to learn how to play consistent basketball instead of making their fans sweat and nervous every game. Well, that's kind of like the Giants. Damn, the wannabe Yankee fan that sort of supports the Mets and wears Boston colors. What a disgrace. Of course, Brad's got to throw in the jokes. He was the main piece in the Soto deal, James Wood. Yes, Jeffy, he'll be a Giant in the offseason. It never made any sense to sign him now. Of course, he's talking about OBJ. Wow, the Raiders just stuffed and it's 4th and short. Did they officially end the game in that regard?
Rams are to the opposing 31-yard line. No timeouts. Clock running right now with 40 seconds and running 2nd and 1 from the 31-yard line. Baker's in shotgun, takes a snap, drops back, looks left, looks right, feels the pressure, drops it up over the middle. He's got his guy down to the 24-yard line. 25 seconds. Clock is still running. Mayfield's calling for the spike. His guys are moving slowly. 18, 17, 16, 15 seconds, and the stop at 15 seconds.
Wow. Did they actually go for that fucking 4th and 1?
No, they pinned him. They pinned him down to the 2. Baker's putting on a hell of a drive right here.
I'm going to look. So Josh Jacobs is doing pretty good for me in fantasy, 99 yards. Devontae Adams, 71 yards. That's good. Cam Akers, 42 yards. You fucking suck. Because he also fumbled.
Yeah, he did fumble. That was a big fumble, too.
Yeah, and the Raiders went the other way with it. I don't know if they capitalized, though. Let's see. I got to go back to my page. Sox play the Orioles to open the season. Smell an opening day live stream.
Let's do it. Touchdown, Rams. It's Jefferson catching it in the deep left-hand part of the end zone. Nice
I
pass
did
from
say that I
Baker.
picked the Rams to win, and I did say I'd pick the Raiders to lose the rest of the year. I'm sorry.
Great.
But yeah, this would be very monumental for Sox's channel. We hit 1,000 views for the first time on Big Blue in the Bronx when Sox was able to cover for me.
Yeah.
When I was at opening day. Rob says I met Nimmo on the Cyclones in Brooklyn. To be fair, Rob, that's also where I didn't meet him, but I saw him, like one of the names that I remember from a few years ago, long time ago, like 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015 from the Cyclones, Brandon Nimmo, because that name stuck out to me. Gavin Cicchini is another name that I remember long time ago. Obviously, it didn't work out. He's a nice guy, very religious. Friended him on Facebook. He has responded to me on there here and there. That's very nice. I mean, Nimmo just seems like, a stand-up guy. Thank you for reminding me about Paul Pierce and the Nets. I agree on G22. Feels like the reunion is happening. Sources say the Yankees want to sign Rodon. I mean, it's just
everybody wants to.
Yeah, everybody wants to, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's up for them to. Put it to you this way: in football terms, the Yankees are likely on the 1-yard line. They need to just hand it off and put it into the end zone.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna pull a Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm gonna be pretty fucking bad. Now I know you were saying, Jeff, about the quote. I see the video on Twitter. I'm gonna watch it once we're done. Who called the fans customers? Well, oh yeah. So, Jeff, I don't know if you remember, but there was this quote that was taken out of context by Brian Cashman because he apparently called the fans customers, but it was taken out of context. And that's one time I'll defend Brian Cashman because that was his words twisted. This is why fans were happy when the Wilpons left. Cohen wanted to win, and money is no issue. Mets fans are excited.
I mean, let's be honest, and I've said this. Growing up in Arizona, let's be honest, fans are customers at the end of the day. That's why sports are there, so the guys make money. And I've said this till the end of the day. I'm a fan of the Red Sox and Giants, who, bigger market teams trying to win at all times. Arizona fans are sitting here complaining, why aren't we winning? Why don't we go spend money? You have the option to. You have the option to go spend that money. That's all I'll say.
And it's funny as Sox because they were apparently big suitors for Xander Boagerts.
Right. Yeah, I would have loved that.
Awesome chat we got here tonight, guys. Alex, something that isn't being discussed is we weren't really in on Nimmo or Yoshida. Something that tells me they're putting all their resources into Rodon. That's a good thing. That's also a bad thing because but if you're putting your resources into Rodon, you might not have enough for another left fielder. But at the same time, it's more flexible if you trade one of the terrible contracts in Hicks and Donaldson. Also, you extend that as well into a different thing where Reynolds, you just need to give up prospects, not necessarily salary room. I mean, with Reynolds, it's arbitration. It's nothing else. It's nothing more, and it's nothing less. Shouts to New England Sports Nation for subscribing, guys. We are 2 subscribers away. We're 2 subscribers.
2.
Away. Number 2. 2 subscribers.
Who is it gonna be? 800.
Who's gonna be at number 800? So please share, like, comment, do all the good stuff. We just need 2 subscribers. I'm gonna put that as a little right here.
Let's do it before we get out of here tonight, guys.
Yes.
Let's make that
800. 800. Let's see. Yep.
And by the way, I stand by what I said about Baker. By the way, that was a great comeback there, but he's not the guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl. And I don't know if this is the end of Matthew Stafford's career. If it was, he had a great one. I appreciate what he did for the NFL, but Baker's not going to win you a Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and I want to say game is over. Derek Carr just threw an interception to Taylor Rapp. So put me on the books. Put me on the books for an upset. I picked the fucking Rams to win because I said that I'd pick the Raiders. I'd pick against the Raiders for the rest of the year once they lost to the Colts. Now, obviously, I haven't been too successful with that because they won against the Seahawks. But hey, I'll take my credit when I can get it. That's a good line. I'll take my credit where I can get it.
Yeah.
But damn it, I picked the Raiders, shaking my head. Well, you'll make up
So
with
did
the
I.
other extra games. Unpopular says, I hate watching some of these teams. The Raiders and the Chargers are two teams I hate watching. I don't know. It's just me. Games being boring and non-meaningful. I agree. Michael Walker had a nice bounce-back season. Sucked as a Met, but played well for the Sox. How old is Eric Hosmer? Jets Mess says. Eric Hosmer.
35, 34?
33.
33.
He is 33 years old.
33.
33. He's 33 years old. Also, shout outs to Jetsons Mess. He also shared us out on Twitter. And also shout outs to Chris in the chat. Chris the Flash. He shared us out on Twitter. Appreciate
that, guys.
the love and support. Oh God, here we go. So most of you will remember Sox has yet to meet him. But so coming into the year, my buddy Brian, who we bring on the channel a lot, he was a big time Baker Mayfield homer. Like he said that, Cleveland was bad for him and all these different things. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, they had an all-star team. And, he admitted he was wrong few weeks into the season, maybe 3 weeks ago, and we all laughed at him for his takes. Now he texts me about the Baker Mayfield game-winning drive. I'm like, Brian, no.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah, I mean, it's one game. Like, let's go to next week and see who the Rams play. Let's go to next week, right? The Rams play the Packers.
They'll probably win.
Baker Mayfield's going to win against the Packers.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Donovan, there hasn't been much movement within the last few hours. So, guys, we are one. So
let's go. Who's it gonna be? Hit that subscribe.
Who's it gonna be? We are one sub away. Just one.
We should pop champagne.
Gotta pop the champagne. Gotta do all we gotta do. Ben Skoranek. Yeah, I mean he's been a solid receiver since Cup's been out. Yep, Raiders are raidering again. Alex, to flatten out last Thursday. Yes, I was up early Friday to go to church, and I was at 3:00, I think, in the morning. Yeah. Great work you do, Jeffrey, for your community and the church that your dad used to work for. Thank you, Rob, for subbing. He said he subbed. The Rams are, all puking signs, but they get a pass. Winning does that. Yes. Rob was 798. Shout out to the Padres ownership for these contracts and staying at 220. Staying at 220 right now. Because if that's their payroll, look it up.
I think
if their payroll is at 220, that's a miracle and a half.
I'm excited for Xander to be here, man. I'm gonna try to get him to sign this jersey.
So, obviously, they haven't put Xander on the books yet, but right now they're at 203 in terms of payroll. Now you up that up to, I think, what the fuck was the deal that they gave him? Literally did the math earlier, and it keeps escaping me. 11 years, 280. So 280 over 11. You add 25 to that. I mean, that's a really good spot to be in if you're the Padres. Really is. Yes, get Unpopular Opinion Sports to 100 as well. Just shared y'all live. Yep, and this is why Baker keeps getting a job, unfortunately. Do y'all feel like the Yankees miss out on elite pitching other than Garrett Cole, who's been average? Who do they have? I mean, Nestor is he's pitching better than he actually is, if I'm going to be completely transparent. He's not a power lefty. He's a Rich Hill type pitcher. That's who he is. But they have a chance to go get a power lefty. And guess what? It's in your hands. You're at the 1 yard line. Baker is good drive. Stafford did not look good this year. Baker needs another chance, and he was clutch tonight. Yeah. Tony says he was number 393, and he was number 247 for Sox, and number 3 for Big Beat Reactions. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that, man.
Lucas says, sad to say my Red Sox are the new Rays. Ownership is trying to regain their money from horrible investments like Pablo Sandoval buying the Penguins.
Oh, my God.
Pablo Sandoval, I totally forgot about him. Yeah.
And remember when he swung and his belt came off?
What I will say is this, though. I usually have videos for this, little celebration videos. But we've hit 800.
Let's go. Let's
We've hit
go.
a number 800.
Everybody give me an 800 in the chat.
Whoever's 800, we are there. Everything Star Wars, appreciate it. 800.
It hit 800 in the chat, everybody. Let's go.
Yes.
Congrats, Big Blue.
Cortez is all right, but we need an elite guy. That's true. That's true. Yeah, man, listen, I'm going to make you a mod, Chris, and then from there, you could put your link in the chat, and some people can sub up to you. Everything Star Wars says he was number 800. I believe it, man. Thank you. You guys obviously will not regret subbing. But let me make you a mod, Chris, so you could sub up, so we could get your channel up. Now you're a moderator, so you could put in the link, sub up to Chris's channel. $7.99. Yeah, also, once again, Unpopular Opinion Sports, you want to put your channel in, you go ahead. This is a community where obviously we let people, put their channels in. We help out each other. And this is what I really appreciate. I found Sox through a Red Sox fan, Al.
Yeah, Red Sox fan Al is another channel here on YouTube that does he'll do what are the video game sports simulators? What are they called? Have you seen those before? You can, it's on the PC where you can go and simulate sports games, but he'll do it and he'll call it live as if it's a live.
So you saying CPU, like MLB The Show?
Kind of. He'll do football thing. You should check it out. It's actually a really cool channel. You guys should actually go check out Red Sox fans. As Big Blue is saying, we're a community that helps out other channels. So go check it out. And that's awesome. I appreciate you coming here. Who said that we get?
Lucas Estrella's 801. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Medina. Yeah, YouTube does funny things, Chris. I've kind of seen that in my realm as a YouTube content creator. Someone passed a tip on to me. Sometimes if you get too many subs at once, they'll take it away from you and then give it back to you because sometimes they think it's bots. I don't know what's worse. This offseason, I'm going next week to say the Broncos play the Cardinals. Oh my dude. Oh my Lord. I'm sorry, Lucas. You know what, Jeffrey? I'll put your channel in. I'll do it for you. Jeffrey also is a channel, so we're gonna put that in for Jeffrey. Obviously, I know we got two Jeffreys in here talking about Jeffrey, Jamestown Commissioner. So I'm just gonna put it in.
Rob's Rules, yes, thank you, Rob's Rules. Welcome to the channel, my man. I'm looking to get back into doing more Sox stuff on the channel. Right now, it's just been the podcast here, which has been really fun. I'm glad we can do this, but especially this Xander move has got me, motivated to get back on here and do that. Rob's Rule says, Al will play a Giants or Yankee game for me. I really enjoy when he does the games. Nice. Awesome stuff. But Jeffrey, I did put your channel in so we could get you more subs. Appreciate, as I said, this is one of my favorite parts, and this is really what I wanted to do when I came on here. And we've built and really constructed a great community of content creators. And it's different realms, right? You meet people in different realms. I met Sox on Cop Izzle's channel. I met Jeffrey and Unpopular Opinion Sports as a part of the Big Blue crew. I mean, Jeffrey's come over to me because we did the Dead Rip podcast. Same thing with Tony. Chris came over to me because of NYY News TV. So, I mean, you just meet people in so many different places. If you expand and you really just express your knowledge all over the place. You should definitely get back into doing vids, bro. Never thought I would get to 300 subs. All subs means a lot to me. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, you just got to keep working through it. Sometimes you do have writer's block as a content creator. You call it, content creating block or whatever you want to call it. And this was really a good milestone. And, I don't want to sit here and make all my shit public. And I did for a reason, because someone meant a lot to me. Passion in sports, what brings us together as a community.
course, Jeffrey, and that's Unpopular Opinion Sports says just sub Sox Arizona, and I hate the Red Sox, but I just respect and support good content creators. He also, I think he's done some Celtics streams on there in the past as well. So you get a lot of different things with Sox. But just to say overall, before I give, actually, you know what, Sox, let me give you the floor for your final thoughts.
Yeah, all good, my man. Today was a good one, man. There's a lot of this Xander thing is really eating at me, and I've been doing a lot of taking in a lot of different, perspectives on this all day. And that's your guy. That's your cornerstone shortstop. And I don't know what direction we're going to go in for now, but in this, what was competitive AL East, it might not be so competitive anymore. And it's heartbreaking, man. I don't really have that many words. And now it's like Rafael Devers is my guy. It's like he's almost the veteran of this team, and he's so young. So hopefully they don't get rid of him either, but we'll see. And, I hope the Giants can beat the Eagles this week. Make sure you guys go over to Big Beat Reactions. Check out that new video that might be dropping tomorrow. And shout out to Big Blue for hitting 800 subscribers. Thank you, Xander Boagerts, for everything you did for the city of Boston. And that's it for me.
Chris says, I have to keep looking at Twitter hoping Rodon signs. With that being said, I think there's going to be I think it's going to be a midnight thing. So whether you choose to stay up, whether you choose to sit back and relax, listen, that's all that stuff. Let's see. Makes me feel better. I support the bro regardless. Great work, Alex and Andrew. Always, fellas. Enjoy the rest of your night. Take it easy and let's go Giants together, blue yellow. That's the one thing we both have in common.
Yeah.
Tony says, and I know I've said it before, but I want to thank Alex for his friendship, as he knows his channel has helped me in so many ways. Congrats on 800. Let's get to 1,000. And just one more thing before we leave. And once again, I it's not something I do for attention, but this means a shit ton. I have videos to make up, so I will be up. If you have a channel, my man, definitely put it up. I'll make you a mod and I'll put it in chat. But something just to throw out there, and once again, this ain't for some attention shit. This is literal shit that means a lot to me. Last Saturday, I had to cut a stream short because my godfather passed away. Someone who was very, very monumental to the person I am today. And to have sports as an outside realm, something you could look into, something, all these different folks, they see you as more than a content creator rather than just someone online. They'll check in on you and all these different things. And obviously these guys in the chat and all these different people on Twitter, Instagram, they reached out, said, are you doing well? 800, and the services are the next 2 days. So it's going to be tough emotionally for me. But I want to thank all of you guys for making this a hell of a stream. And we're at 800 right now. I said to my guys, Donald and Luca, I want to get there by the end of the week. Looking to get there. I want to get there probably before Monday's show. And you know what? We're here. That's all because of you guys. But Rob, I'm actually, before we leave, I'm going to make you a mod. I'm going to have you throw in your channel in the chat, because we do stuff for everybody here, as you guys do for us. You support our content. We're going to support what you guys do. But I appreciate the words, Chris, Jeffrey, Anthony. Just something I wanted to throw out there. Let me see. Where's Rob at? Where is Rob at here in the live chat? Why am I not? He might be in your chat, Sox. But let's see. Everyone is getting a wrench tonight. An honorary wrench. Here we go. Okay, let's add him as a mod. But with that being said, guys, we are going to head out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool. And let's hope those Giants take the W on Sunday against some stinky-ass fucking Eagles. Peace.
Break those wings.
Yes. Peace.